Hello friends, and welcome back to Suzanne Elizabeth's Kitchen. Today here in the foothills of Colorado, we are enjoying a lot of snow, about a foot of snow. And so it's a cozy day that you just want to stay inside and sit in front of the fire. And in this case, today we're going to do a white pizza, but not just any white pizza. We're going to do a Chicago-style deep dish white pizza. And I'm making this in part for my friend Elizabeth Harper, who is in England, and she asked for my recipe for deep dish pizza, and I'm going to, even though this is one's a bit differently, I'll explain. You basically follow the same pattern. So, to begin with, it's all about the pie crust, and that the whole point of a deep dish pizza is almost like, well, it's a deep dish. It's in a deep dish. So I'm using one of my favorite tart pans that I use for quiche, but in this case what I've done is, instead of putting a regular pie crust in here, I have put a pie dough, pizza dough. Very simple. Pizza dough is simply 2.5 cups of flour. No, make that 3 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of yeast, a teaspoon of salt, and that's it. Let it rise for 2 hours, and if you're making a regular pizza, you can actually divide that amount of dough in half, so you have 2 pizzas, or into 4s if you're going to make 4 individual small personal sized pizzas, just flat pizzas. But in this case, because we're doing a deep dish pizza, and this is quite a large tart pan, I wanted to have plenty of dough to, as you can see, I have pressed the dough up the sides of the tart pan, and so that's fine, and that's exactly what we want to do. And so I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, and I did oil the bottom of the tart pan with olive oil before I put the dough in there. And that'll just help it not to stick and to get a nice crunchy crust, which is one of the hallmarks of a Chicago-style deep dish pizza. Now, the secret to any kind of deep dish pizza is you put the cheese on the bottom, not on the top. And so, and actually what you can use is just a plain old, there's Coco. Hi, Coco. Coco wants some of this cheese. She's very excited about the cheese. What you can do, and actually I'm going to go ahead and slice this, is you could grate it. And I think that's certainly one way to do it. But this is, and that's with, if you have the regular, the harder mozzarella cheese. This is a really nice, soft, fresh mozzarella, which I prefer. And so I'm just going to go ahead and, Coco, you can't have any cheese. No, sorry. Sorry, Coco. Coco, as you know from watching my other videos, I think she aspires to being a TV star, because as soon as I start videotaping, Coco starts barking. Coco! So here is, as you can see, I've completely covered the bottom of this pizza pie with this. And now, if I were making a traditional Chicago, Coco, shh. Here, let me throw something at her. Maybe a little piece of cheese. If you were making, there is a method to the madness. If you were making a traditional Chicago-style pizza, the reason you put the cheese on the bottom is you're forming a barrier between the crust and the tomato sauce, which you would be putting on top. Coco, here, there's another piece of cheese. Now the other guys have come over. Look at this. Look at this. I have an audience. There's Henry. Henry, look. Henry. There's George. Oops. There's George. Here's Henry. Henry, look. Holy mackerel. It's like Jaws around here. Okay, so the cheese would normally form a barrier between the crust and the tomato sauce. But I'm not actually making a tomato sauce because, look at this, gorgeous. This is one bunch of broccoli rabe, also called rapini. And it is one of my favorite vegetables in the entire universe. And it's, all you do is saute it for a few minutes, maybe 3 minutes at most, in olive oil and garlic. And that's it. And you just, Coco, here, would you like some broccoli rabe? You just saute it quickly. And then we're putting it on top of our cheese, and that's it. Now, if you were making a traditional Chicago-style deep dish pizza, you would then top this with a tomato sauce, and then you just bake it. So remember, first your pizza dough, in as if you were making a pie or a quiche, put that into your dish. Then the all-important layer of cheese, and it should cover, and it can either be grated mozzarella or, as you saw, nice big thick slices of fresh mozzarella, as I did. Then you put in your medium, your middle layer, and this can be Italian sausage, or in this case, a nice vegetable. You could have mushrooms, pepperoni, whatever you like, or just keep it with cheese. And then if you're going with a traditional, and we're going to just throw some more cocoa there. Then if you're making a traditional Chicago-style deep dish pizza, you would top this with a very, very thick and chunky tomato sauce. I make mine with 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and I mix them together, cook them on the stove top, and I use my immersion blender to make kind of a chunky sauce, because you don't want it to be so thin that it runs through. It's literally just supposed to sit on top of your toppings. And then, but in this case, I don't want any tomato sauce because I just want this to be a white pizza, and that's exactly what it's going to be. And Coco, here's one more piece of broccoli rabe, and that's it, my darling. That's it. No more broccoli rabe for you. She loves vegetables. Coco is a vegetarian, I think. Anyways, so then so let's say you did want your tomato sauce. Just put that on there. It's going to go in the oven, 375 for about, if you have the tomato sauce on there, I would say 20 to 30 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. You want to make sure that your crust is baked all the way through but not burned. In this case, because I'm just using cheese and broccoli rabe, this will probably be done in 15 to 20 minutes. So just keep an eye on it and enjoy. You're going to love this. Deep dish pizza is one of my favorite things in the whole world, and I'm sure it will be for you as well. Because it's the middle of the afternoon here in Colorado, I am not drinking my usual glass of wine. I'm drinking iced coffee. And so I'm going to wish you Godspeed, God bless. Enjoy cooking for your family and friends, and I'll see you again next time on Suzanne Elizabeth's Kitchen. Cheers!